Speaker ke Assembly Thomas A. Sama ula pentep hapo ke yang Dorbar bau MLA ke North Shong ubai Adelbert nongrum ula pan Pynjlan ya kapor Shong Dorbar namar bakalingkot palat. Habai day bakani Speaker ula examine ban ula ai lad ya ubai Adelbert ban pinsno halor kani. Habawanra ikani ubai Adelbert ula ong bakani ke Dorbar senrai kadang kloy bat kadang jod chebha. Ula dawa ban Pynjlan ya kapor bat ai kelut ya kimat banwanra khamtam naki MLA kalyang persha. Ula dawa ban Pynjlan yak kendon bat ailat banwanra yak call attention 0 hour. Kajing iPod tang arsngi yaki MLA liang persha kala kampalat kapor ban keren yaki mat kijing.
Level in the official assembly calendar as autumn session. However, for me and perhaps many others too, I'm quite certain that this present wet monsoon, much month of rain, is a little too early for autumn season. That apart, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not the first time that I have raised an objection to the absolutely short numbers of days allocated for assembly session. And I can already presume that my request for the report on allocation of time table to be referred back to the Business Advisory Committee will not be entertained by the Minister in charge Parliamentary Affairs. So to cut short and come straight to the point, which can be practically considered, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to recall what you had said in earlier session in this very august house about your valuable experience as a member of parliament, where you narrated how house sitting in parliament would continue to late in the evening so as to finish the entire business of the day. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, I wish to seek the cooperation of the Minister in charge Parliamentary Affairs that, in keeping with the values of parliamentary democracy, the government of the day will be considerate of the many pressing issues concerning the state that require the urgent attention of this august house. And the various items of business which have been listed to be taken up, particularly private members' business, will not be cut short by the bell, but instead be granted ample time to be extended even beyond the regular hour. Mr. Speaker, sir, another point that I want to raise is that as members of the legislature, when we are submitting notice to the Assembly Secretariat informing of our intention to move either short duration discussion or calling attention motion, we are promptly informed by Assembly Secretariat that there are already enough number of submissions received and that no further submission can be considered by the Assembly Secretariat as the timetable of the session is back. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is what I mean when I said at the start that the number of days allocated for this autumn session is absolutely too short. Because it is really not our fault as members of the legislature that we offer too many notice for short duration discussion of calling attention motion that cannot fit within the timetable proposed by Business Advisory Committee. Hence, here again, I propose a possible solution that the convention and practice of listing only one item of calling attention motion and one item of short duration discussion in the business of the day be relaxed. As I have gone through the rules of procedure and conduct of business, of numbers of short duration discussion that can be taken up in a day, and even in the case of calling attention motion under rules 54. The specified restriction of one item is if there are more than one submission relating to the same matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, here I humbly request for a generous interpretation of the rules from your esteemed authority. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to draw your attention to the practice of 0 hour being followed in the House of Parliament. Through video coverage, we have seen how when the Honorable Lok Sabha MP from Shong raised a 0 hour, there were other MPs who did so before him at the same sitting and other MPs after him as well. In this context, I again refer to the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, and I find that there is no restriction specified in Rules 49A on the number of 0 hour that can be raised in a day. Mr. Speaker, sir, I earnestly hope that my few and humbly suggestion to allow for more item of business to be taken up in a day by this August House merits your consideration, your kind consideration. And with the same sincerity, I once again emphasize that the allocation of 5 working days with only 2 days for private members' business is not enough. It's too short a time for the state legislature to do justice to the many pressing issues concerning the state that require the urgent attention of this August House, which meets only twice a year. Mr. Speaker, sir, I fear that limiting this current assembly session to only a few days is really like curtailing the voice of the people. And by what? And by that, I don't mean just the voice of the party that I proudly represent, but the voice of the people of our representative constituency who have plenty of expectation from us, their elected representative, and from this August House for their many issues and concerns to be raised and heard. With these very few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you once again for allowing me to move this motion of amendment to the allocation of time table proposed by the Business Advisory Committee. Thank you. With this submission, I resume my seat.
Anybody wanting to participate? Minister in charge to reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the day when the BSC sat under your